If you run MCP servers, RAG APIs, local AI agent runtimes, meta ads automation, Amazon Strands agents memory tools, or Azure SRE agent, check versions and exposure today. The practical risk is not theoretical prompt drama. These advisories describe server-side code execution, unauthenticated RAG data access, loopback agent compromise from a web page, token exposure, tenant memory access, and privilege escalation. Patch first, then restrict network reachability, secrets, and who can call agent tools. The lead item is FrontMCP CVE-2026-67531. NVD rates it critical, CVSS 9.3. FrontMCP is a TypeScript-first model context protocol framework, and versions before 1.5.7 had a sandbox escape in the codecall execute tool. The advisory says exposed host schema objects could let a script reach the host function constructor and execute code in the server process. That can expose OAuth client secrets, JWT secrets, session keys, database credentials, and cloud instance metadata. Version 1.5.7 fixes the issue. Defenders should update, avoid public unauthenticated MCP endpoints, rotate secrets if exposure is suspected, and put MCP workers behind strict egress and identity controls. Second, LightRAG has CVE 2026-61808, critical with CVSS 9.8. Through version 1.5.4, the API server could bind to all network interfaces with authentication disabled by default. An unauthenticated network attacker could read indexed document content, upload or delete documents, modify the knowledge graph, clear caches, cancel pipelines, and burn LLM resources. The project says the issue is mitigated in 1.5.5 RC1. If your RAG server touches internal documents, treat this as a data exposure risk, bind to localhost or a private network, require authentication, and audit indexes for unexpected changes. Third, OpenYak has CVE 2026-46409, critical with CVSS 9.6. OpenYak is a local-first tool using model runtime. Before version 1.1.3, its desktop backend exposed a loopback HTTP API without server-side origin validation, loopback authentication, or content type enforcement, combined with wildcard CORS. In plain English, any web page visited while OpenYak was running could send cross-origin requests into the local agent service. The advisory says that can lead to arbitrary shell commands via the build agent, service shutdown, and chat or account data exposure. Update to 1.1.3, and avoid broad shell permissions for local agents. Fourth, meta ads MCP has CVE 2026-48039, critical with CVSS 9.1. Before version 1.0.109, unauthenticated streamable HTTP requests could reach downstream MCP tool handlers, and fallback environment credentials could be exposed in error responses. The fix is version 1.0.109. Teams should update, rotate meta access tokens if the service was reachable, remove tokens from URLs and logs, and require authentication at both the edge and inside the MCP handler. Amazon Strands Agents tool CVE 2026-19111 is high severity. Memory tools before 0.8.3 could allow an authenticated user to influence LLM tool calls with a forged namespace and access, modify, or delete another tenant's memories. Upgrade to 0.8.3 and enforce memory authorization server-side, not in prompts. Microsoft also lists CVE 2026-62830 in Azure SRE agent as critical, CVSS 9.9, a missing authorization issue that may let an authorized attacker elevate privileges over a network. Follow the Microsoft Update Guide and review privileged agent activity. Today's checklist: patch FrontMCP to 1.5.7, LightRAG to the mitigated release or later, OpenYak to 1.1.3, meta ads MCP to 1.0.109, and Strands Agents tools to 0.8.3. For every AI agent service, block public access by default, require authentication independent of the model, log tool calls, isolate service accounts, prevent access to cloud metadata endpoints, and rotate secrets after any suspected exposure.